we came into 1 Timothy chapter 3, which discusses the qualities for leadership for a pastor, a bishop, and a deacon. And there's two sections there, the one titled qualities for a bishop and the other for a deacon. And we typically use those for pastors as well, leaders in the church. So anyway, I wanted to bring that passage up to you and, encourage you to read it, check it out. 1 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 to 13. And you might be saying, well, I don't have any desire to be a pastor, a deacon, or a bishop. So why is this so important to me? And I say, great. That's exactly how I've always felt. I've never really desired to be a pastor. God called me to be one, but it was never my ambition. I never sought out to do it. About 10 years ago, I put myself through Bible college, and everyone just automatically assumed that I wanted to be a pastor, my friends and my family. And when I told them, no, that's not what I was seeking to do, they said, well, why would you go to Bible college? I said, I just want to know more about my Lord and Savior. I want to know more about the Bible. I want to know more about my God. And that's why I'm going to Bible college. And many were perplexed, but it was what it was. And then, I got to do some missionary work, and then, God eventually did call me to be a pastor, but it was never my ambition. I never felt the calling. I had many friends who were pastors. I was close to many pastors as I worked with a lot of churches. I saw the struggles and the stress that they went through, and that was just never something I sought for myself. And frankly, I didn't feel like I liked people well enough to shepherd them as a pastor should. God always changes our hearts and grows us and matures us into new creations, and that's where He's brought me. But I wanted to bring this passage up because it's one that I read through many times as a believer, as a young believer, and recognized this was a list of qualities that I needed to have in my life as a faithful worker of the Lord. I wanted to be pleasing in His eyes. And so the best thing I could do was to compare myself to what a pastor and a leader should look like and say, God, I want to be like that person without having the title. I'm okay with serving behind the scenes and just being a worker for you, but I want my life to be pleasing and righteous. And so I would read over that passage, and I would recognize areas of my life that I was doing all right in, I was doing well in, and areas that I wasn't, areas that I needed to grow. And so it was an opportunity for me to pray and say, okay, these are areas that I'm not doing well in. I need to grow. God, help me to be better in these areas. And through the years, obviously, I've seen a lot of growth because of my commitment to Him and the work that He's doing in and through my life. And so, I still to this day read through that passage and say, I'm not qualified to be this, but, God is the one who qualifies me. He's the one who makes me righteous and clean in His eyes and gives me the qualities that He wants for me to have in my life. But I still pray about those areas that I'm not doing well. And I say, hey, you know what? God, this is your calling in my life. And I just want to be pleasing to you, Lord. Here's the areas that I'm failing in. Help me to do better. Help me to be the child that you want me to be. And so, I just wanted to share that with you and give you the challenge and say, what about you? Have you read through those qualities of being a pastor and a deacon? Whether or not you want to be in a position of leadership, have you challenged yourself, your personal growth in those areas? I challenge you today, read through that and pray about it and say, God, reveal to me the areas that I need to grow in. And, recognize the areas where God has already made you complete. And you'll see the finished work of the cross in your life. All right, guys, be blessed.